All right, hey everyone, Mark here. Hold on a second. Let me just put the slide up and I get this thing started here real quick. All right, there we go. All right, hey everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Mark Principato, Mark P Markets. I'm going to adjust my microphone. Thank you for joining me from my market, my daily market price action analysis stream. I'm going to look at the major markets. This is for the US market open. The market's been open now for 10 minutes. I'm running a little bit behind. I apologize for that. Anyway, thank you for joining me. So in case you don't know how this works, I'm going to be running through the major markets, but I want to focus on a couple of things early on. There's a couple of trades that are now in play, and I want to focus on that, okay? So we can get started with that. Also, with these streams, I'm looking to bring in more trade ideas rather than going over just general markets, because obviously no one cares about general markets, right? They want trade ideas. So without me giving away too much detail, I can at least give you sort of like a trader radar type of experience, right? That's what I'm looking to do with this. Anyway, all right, so let's get started. This is for educational purposes only. For investment advice, please consult a licensed investment advisor. Let me take this slide off. So now that you know that. All right, cool. There we go. And let's get started here. So, hey, Ben, good to see you. Eligius, I got Bill. Bill, why do you always have to rub it in? You know, I mean, it's sunny here too, but it's 38 degrees. So, I'm not too happy about that. Anyway, all right, let's talk about the major markets here. First things first, Bitcoin. Now, Bill, by the way, have you guys seen the guys that are in my Discord chat? Let me mention this real quick, people. For one, before I get into these charts, I forgot to mention I am sponsored by 8Cap Partners. They are a Forex and CFD broker located in Australia. Okay, they are regulated and they offer quite a number of instruments to trade. You can also trade through raw spreads, meaning you pay the smallest spread possible. Of course, it's a commission-based structure. Better if you trade size. Then they have like their standard spread structure. You can click on the link below this video here, okay? And if you open an account through my affiliate link, again, this is non-US only, okay? Non-US and non-sanctioned countries. If you open an account, you can get my training program for free, okay? You have to deposit $500, trade one standard lot, and you get my training for free. Okay. Also, you want to know more about my training program? The link is in there as well. Go to markpmarkets.com. You could learn all about it. The 6 steps that I use to come up with this analysis and the trade ideas that I put in the chat, that's the basis of it. Okay. So you have that there. Also, again, Discord community. If you're not a member of it right now, it's free. You can join it. All right. I'm always going to have a free area, but right now the premium channels are open, so you can see what's going on. You can see the trade ideas that I'm talking about. Okay, that I'm going to talk about in the stream. The link is also below the video here. Please click on that. Please join my Discord channel. Okay, so let's talk about charts now. Bitcoin. First things first. Bill, what I wanted to ask you was, you see my pound trade? Too many people moving here. Should stay cold. Well, yeah, they're all coming from New Jersey, Bill. They're all coming from Jersey. That's why I won't go there. All right. Anyway, you see the pound dollar short that I put in the channel yesterday? I want to make sure people are seeing that, okay? Because we're going to talk about that in here in this stream. I want to talk about that short because at one point today, that thing was up 100 pips. But if no one's seeing it, then, what good is it? Anyway, so Bitcoin, I put the trade idea earlier this week, right? At 18,850 was the price. I can't remember the price exactly off the top of my head. Okay, cool. But this trade is in play. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to talk about all the details about the stop and all that stuff. You have access to the chat now. You can go in there and you can take a look and see for yourself where the numbers are. But here's the thing. The entry, right? This thing basically triggered because I use stop orders to get in. I don't get in on feel or because something looks good, like half of these other morons who don't know what they're doing. Okay. I take myself out of the equation. I let the market work, right? Now, here's the thing with this trade, and this is what you have to keep in mind. It's taken from a very vulnerable area. This is less than ideal, and I explained that in the trade idea. This is not the best area to be taking a short because it's highly vulnerable to squeezes. I mean, this is a support area, okay? So as you can see right now, this candle is looking a little bit conflicted. It's a bullish pin bar. Now we have the whole day before this closes. So if this closes like this and it generates a buy signal, I'm most likely going to send out the adjustment, meaning get out early and take the loss. Okay, it's a small loss because the original risk is much greater, and there's no reason to get stopped out of this thing and take a loss for a couple of thousand points. I mean, there's no reason for that if there's a clear conflicting signal off of a location that is where a signal like that is likely to develop. The trade was aggressive from an aggressive location to begin with. Okay, so that's what you have to keep an eye out for. I mean, the way, taking trades, it's not about trying to perfect and get like that exact perfect trade that's going to work, because markets are random. It's about being able to get out early and take a much smaller loss than expected. That is how you make money in this game, not with your RSI. Okay, so all these people with their magical RSI and all their other gimmicks and all their other nonsense, they're focusing you on the wrong information, which is typical of the retail trader and the herd mentality. And that's why they get fleeced all the time. Okay, in the market, the opportunity is you. There's no opportunity for you. You are the opportunity for the industry and for everyone else. Always keep that in mind, okay? Especially when you're consuming free information. I'm giving you free information right now, right? But I do work hard to try to provide reality. That's why I'm not popular and my marketing stinks. Anyway, so that's the situation with Bitcoin here. This can turn into a buy signal. That's the conflicting signal. If we close like this and it takes out the high of the pin bar, then we have a long signal. The thing is, the structure hasn't changed. So any long signals, if one develops, for one, I'm probably not going to call that trade because, for one, I don't like going against the signal, right? The structure, right? If there's a long signal, it's not favored to go very far because Bitcoin continues to respect resistance levels, okay? Yes, it's holding this support, but it's just a matter of time. If it keeps testing it and testing it and testing it, at some point, everyone is going to try to get out at the same time, right? And that's when you get the break. And that's where I'm targeting this area here. I've been targeting this area the entire summer. Bitcoin refuses to get there. It's just a matter of catalyst, okay? It's not something, this is not like I know the future and we're going to go there. That's not what I'm trying to say here. There's a decent probability, a reasonable probability that we can reach this area at some point, and that's what I'm betting on. And as long as the structure continues to support that idea, that's the outlook that I'm going to have. Okay, it's not really an opinion because I'll change it in 2 seconds once Bitcoin gives me a reason to change it, once the structure gives me a reason. Does that make sense to you guys? So that's Bitcoin. That's the Bitcoin trade idea. If you're in it short, right now, all we can do is monitor it. It's too early to make any judgments as far as getting out early, but I just told you what to look for. Now, let's take a look on a smaller time frame. Okay, let's take a look at a 60-minute chart. Okay, cool. Hey, Sean, good to see you. All right, from Seattle. Sean's been following me a long time. Okay, send them here. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't think, does anyone want to go to Seattle? I don't know. If you want to see Jeff Bezos, I guess. I think he's over there, and Bill Gates. Anyway, all right, so here's the thing. Look at this. This is on the intraday time frame. Why am I bringing this up? I usually don't talk about day trades, but day trades are something that I want to start putting into the channel. But the type of day trades I'm talking about are more like intraday trend trades. We're not talking about like working on a 1-minute chart because that's not practical to send out signals for. Anyway, let's look at this on the hourly time frame. Look at the pin bar. Okay, and there's a buy signal in play right now. It took out the high of the pin bar. So what you're looking for here are, first, really, once you have a sense of trend, right, which is the first step of my training, you're looking for levels, and you can apply that to any time frame. Okay, then from there, we're going to start to form expectations and scenarios. So here's the thing. There's a buy signal in play intraday right now. It doesn't mean it's going to continue all day. This can fizzle out very quickly. As we know, the next candle could be a conflicting candle over the next hour. So what to do here? Well, in this situation, you're looking at an even smaller time frame, perhaps going to the 5-minute or 15-minute, okay? And you're looking for continuation patterns to see if this thing can work its way up to the next resistance, right? Which is basically the 120 to 150 area. I mean, that's what you're looking at, something like that, right? Right now, this thing is basically at 983. So that's a good 150 points or something. If it can get that far, you're only looking for maybe 100 intraday. Like, that's a great trade. If you can squeeze 100 points out of this thing, or maybe slightly more. And all you have to do is that once or twice and you're done. Okay, you don't sit there and try to trade this thing all day. I'm going to pull thousands of points out like they make you think on all these other nonsense channels. Anyway, that's the idea intraday. Those are your levels. Now, if this thing fools around, okay, because this thing can easily fail, like I said, if it fails, because the general structure here is not exactly bullish, right? Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, push this low, okay? That's not exactly bullish. This may be the beginning of a change, possibly, right? And this basically equates to the pin bar that we looked at on the larger time frame. But if these resistances are respected, then a test of this low is within reason still. So if you're looking to play the short side, okay, you're looking for signals, which there's none right now, but this area would be one. This could easily fake out. If this fakes out, you have yourself an intraday sell signal, which can take you somewhere into these lows, or maybe even halfway, okay, something like that. That's all you're looking for. Again, when you're looking on the day trade time frame, you have to be very aware of both sides, okay, long and short, because things change a lot. That's why I don't talk a lot about things on the day trade time frame, because things are constantly changing. 1 minute it could be a long, and then next minute it's a short. And people, I don't understand, how can it change so quickly? Markets are random. All right, you have to accept the price and you have to adjust quickly. You have to have a very nimble mindset, but at the same time be very confident with your decisions. Like you have, there can't be any second guessing. It's like, okay, that's why I use the least amount of information possible to make a trade, or come up with a trade idea, or to take a trade, to take risk, because I need to be very decisive. Okay, and if something goes wrong, I need to get out just as decisively. There's no reason to take a large loss. All right, but it's about recognizing when you're wrong. Sometimes you have to take a little pain, but how much is a little pain? It's all going to be relative to the time frame. Anyway, so that's the situation here. These are your levels. So pay attention to that. Like I said, this can turn into a short. These are your targets for the short. If this is going to continue to be a long, this is your target area for the long. Okay, that's all you need to know. All right, let's move along here. Let's go back to the larger time frame. Guys, also, if you have any suggestions about like what you'd like to see on these streams, please let me know, because I want these streams to be valuable to you. I want this stream to be a place where you can come each day at the market open and get some ideas of what's reasonable to expect, and also perhaps some ideas that can help you make some money if possible. Okay, now I don't sit here like this, oh, you're going to make money for sure. Nonsense. You can also lose money very easily. Okay, and it's going to happen. But it's about controlling those losses and keeping them small enough so that when you win, you make up for them. Okay, that's how you play this game, controlling the losses. It's the only control we have. Anyway, all right, now let's move along here. I want to take a look at bond market. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the bond market, but we're going to look at it. Okay, ZN1. And this is, again, you should check this every day. It's not going to change a whole lot, but these little changes can turn into something more at some point, and that's what we're monitoring for. So yesterday we were looking at this thing, right? The lower low, look, bullish pin bar, right? Now we still have a couple of hours before this thing closes. All right. Hey, good to see you, Armin. Thanks for coming by from South Africa. See, I remember. Anyway, bullish pin bar here, right? Developing, and too early to make any judgments. And on the economic front, as I keep pointing out, all of this is meaningless. It's still a lower low. We've pushed lows. Rates are higher. That's all you need to know. As long as this trend is intact, lower high, lower high. Okay, as long as that trend is still intact, we have this old support here, which is likely to act as a resistance if there's any test. This bond market has a long way to go before it proves anything economically. Even if we get a rally back up to this resistance, rates come off a little bit, but it doesn't mean the economic environment has changed just yet. So don't get misled. Keep in mind, when you have a rally in the bonds that works its way up to there over the next few weeks, if that occurs, you're going to have a lot of nonsense talk out there. Please, if you consume news, please understand you're consuming a financial cartoon. People like to think, oh no, but I'm informed. You're not informed. The market is informed. Price is informed, not you. The market, that news that you're consuming is ancient and it's useless by the time it reaches you. So keep in mind, there are people out there with greater resources and better sources of information. They're going to act on the market, and they have a better idea of how to act because they have real information that you cannot get, okay? And it comes in a variety of forms. Some of it is illegal. Yes, if you're a US politician, it's illegal how they trade. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that here. The point is, we don't have that luxury. So you can't assume that the information you're consuming is relevant. Number one, it's just entertainment. Keep that in mind, okay? People, oh, the news. Oh, how can you not follow the news? Because I follow price, and price knows more than the news. Anyway, all right, so that's the bond market. I just spent too much time on that. Let's now move along. I want to jump over to the pound, okay? Because the pound, this is a trade. And this trade I sent out yesterday about 10:30 in the evening, Eastern time. And I saw this, it was based on this pin bar here, basically, okay? And at one point today, I mean, look, it's coming back now. It's only up about maybe 30 pips, but this thing was up over about 100 pips when it was messing around this low, okay? That's nice for one night, but I'm not taking that profit. It's too early. Why? Do I have a greed problem? No, my risk is pretty high on this trade, okay? I mean, for the pound, 200 pips, that's a decent amount, right? So this, even though 100 pips is nice or something like that, for one, you have to let the trade, I mean, the trade just got started. You have to expect noise, okay? We have to see how the candles close. I wasn't out for 100 pips. People that see the trade idea, they know where the target is. I need to at least come closer to justifying my risk, or I need to start moving my stop at some point. Before I start moving my stop, I need a candle to close. This thing just got started. We're only on the first candle. So how does this candle close, right? If it closes like this, I mean, I'm not going to be too happy about that. It's a bullish pin bar. But the thing is, the context on the pound, as we know, I'm betting on a rising dollar, okay? Now, as long as the pound stays below this resistance, it's likely to test lower prices, whether it's this low over here or even this low over here. That's really, I'm not looking for this low, okay? What's the low over here? What is the low? 103. Yeah, that's a little aggressive, okay? I'm looking for something much less than that. Again, all the information's in the channel. You can go there and check it out. It's still available. It's still free. Anyway, the point is trade management. Candle must close. Then I can start making judgments. If this candle closes strong, I may have to get out of the pound early, right? We have to see how that goes. But that's the chance you take. I have no problem taking a small loss, especially if this thing wants to squeeze, right, and work its way up to here at some point, which is possible. I don't want to get in its way. Okay, first of all. Second of all, I will be prepared to get back in. So that's the other thing. That's what gives you, the confidence to take a trade like this. If you get the conflicting signal, you get out and you be prepared to get back in, because the trend is not changing here. Okay, this trend is still intact. The bear side is still favored, and of course, that's a function of the dollar. All right, and that dollar has been nothing but strong. So we'll have to see how that goes. Again, that's not an opinion. That's based on price structure and price action. That's where I get the idea from, and I adjust as I get new information, as price provides new information. All right, now that's the pound. All right, now let's take a look at gold, because British Pound just resigned yesterday. Oh, that's interesting, Alex. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, a lot of drama over there. Okay, so maybe that was the initial reaction. Like, wow, I look at the pound. this morning. I'm like, man, 100 pips in one day. That was quick. But again, my profit target is much greater because I know that the pound can move. So anyway, thanks for letting me know, Alex. So that is more. Obviously, there's probably more bearish catalysts on the horizon. We'll have to see. But I'm betting on the strong dollar, not on their failing economy. All right. So anyway, which I guess could be the same thing, but it's all about the dollar here. Let's move along. So let's take a look at gold. All right. Because gold, people ask me about gold. I saw a question from Ben. A lot of people look, gold, like I keep saying, gold is an emotional metal. And gold is a lot of drama and a lot of talk. Gold has a potential double bottom here. Okay. Again, though, this is a function of the dollar. We'll take a look at the dollar index next. But if that dollar index pulls back, right, we're going to see a rise in the pound. We're going to see a rise in the euro. We're going to see a rise in everything. Okay. Because a bullish dollar is bad for everything, but a bearish dollar, people are going to be happy to see that. Of course, as if rates come off a bit, right, with that bond market, dollar should pull back. That's the relationship. So this is a potential double bottom in gold. I can see why you're interested in it. Now, here's what you have to realize. When people see a pattern like that, right? Oh, double bottom, I need to buy it. It's a double bottom. Don't fail to recognize the context. This is a double bottom in a bearish structure. I mean, that's bearish, generally, lower high, lower high. This goes back months, okay? Now, we can argue, if we really zoom out on gold, we can argue that generally gold is in a bullish trend, okay? At least like midterm, range-bound, long-term bullish, right? We can say that, and this could be the bottom of it possibly, but we cannot ignore the shorter term trend and structure. We cannot ignore that because that's usually more meaningful for the moment. That's what, that's the momentum. It carries a lot of weight. So my point is this: if you're going to go for the long on the bullish double bottom, it's an aggressive idea because you're fighting the bigger picture. Okay. It doesn't mean that it won't work or that it's not worth anything. Just understand that your profit expectations need to be limited. That's all you need to understand. So this right now, it's a nice reversal, right? Nice potential double bottom. Let the candle close. If it takes out the high, 1643, right? That's the current high. And this thing is not too far. It's only a point off of that, right? If it closes and takes out the high, perhaps Sunday evening or Monday, that will be a long signal, a swing trade, all right? An aggressive swing trade. So if you take that, your risk is obviously going to be evaluated from that low, and you're going to need this thing to justify your risk. And what's the size of this candle? 1643 to 1617. That's a good 30 points, something like that. You can round that to 40 points maybe, just to give you a nice round number. That's about typical risk for gold. So you're risking 30 or 40 points. You need to make that to justify it at least, right? So that's you're targeting 30 or 40 points higher. So that's going to take you up into the 1680s, 1690s, perhaps low 17s. That's all you're looking for, right? And that can take a couple of days to play out. Don't think you're going to get this, because that's the Captain Obvious thing to do. Oh, it's going to go right back up to that high, and I'm going to make $1 million, right? That's what everyone likes to think. It can happen, but because of the other, the context, we have a generally strong dollar. Until that dollar trend changes, gold is likely to test lows, even though it looks nice right now at the moment. Okay, maybe the dollar will change. Also, seasonally, we're going into a bullish time for gold seasonally, so that may give it a little extra enthusiasm to work its way. So who knows? Maybe it will work its way up there over the next few months, up into this high. We have to see. But it's better to expect it's better to keep your expectations within proportion of your structure and your context. So I would be targeting this area here. All right. And then possible short setup for the test of low. The test of low is what the environment favors and the structure. Does that make sense? So that kind of gives you a sense of probability, how to gauge your probabilities. All right, so that's gold. Now let's move along. I'm probably going to cut off a few markets because otherwise I'll be here an hour. All right, I like to talk, but I can't do this an hour. Anyway, So let's take a look at the NASDAQ. We'll jump right over to the NASDAQ and SXUSD. By the way, people, if you have a question, let me know. Let me know if you have a question, and I can answer like one question here. Let me just see. Let me just read the chat here. I answered gold. Okay. Let me just jump through here. I really appreciate you talking about smaller time frames. Oh, from Kosovo. Hey, cool. Welcome. I don't think I've gotten someone from that country here. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this. All right. Not necessarily bearish for pound. The new PM can strengthen the pound. Oh, okay. Well, good point. Good point. You know, usually when someone resigns, a lot of times that's considered like a negative thing. But hey, maybe that person wasn't popular, and maybe someone more popular comes in. Who knows, right? And it can affect the perception. That very well may be. But I pay attention to the price structure. I don't let opinions like that shape my decision making, right? Because the market knows more than me. Anyway, so thank you for pointing that out. Anyway, so here's the NASDAQ, right? And this is important because, again, this thing was looking weak yesterday, right? We talked about that. Took out the low, took out the candle low here, this bearish candle low, and talked about the possibility of a sell signal, and look, it reverses in your face, right? If you short into that, especially with an opinion. Now, this is a possible higher low being established here. Higher lows often lead to higher highs. So this is possible strength developing, but as you can see, how much potential does that strength have? You have a lot of resistance areas that you need to address. Okay, I mean, look at this. Look at these lower highs everywhere. So, a bullish structure may develop, but that does not mean that the trend has changed. To prove itself, it needs to take out all of these levels, and that can take some time. So maybe today, intraday, this can offer some intraday longs, but after that, I would not be going long here. I would not be going crazy with stocks yet. If you're looking to invest in stocks, again, keep the investments small. I haven't talked much about investing here, but if you're looking at stocks on the bigger picture, it's not like this is the market bottom. We have no evidence of that. By the time a bottom develops, like if you think a bottom is developing, you're taking a big risk. It might be, but there's no evidence. By the time evidence becomes apparent, the bottom will be established, okay? Which means we will be off the bottom, which means you're not going to get the best price. But you don't need the best price to make money. Just that's greed driving your decisions. Oh, I could have had a better price. Right. But the best price is also the most expensive. You know how much money I have thrown out the window trying to get the best price and taking enormous risks, not recognizing that I'm taking more risk trying to get a better price, right? Meanwhile, you can get a worse price and there's a better chance of you making money because you're on the right side of the momentum, right? It's the momentum that matters, not really, the having the best price. Because if you're on the wrong side, if you're buying a low and you think you bought the bottom, it can go lower, right? All those people that bought this bottom and this bottom and this bottom and this bottom, right? Well, this bottom, if you stayed in it, now it's green for you, but you had to sit through this candle, right? So the best price is the most expensive price. It's not worth playing that game. You're just gambling. Let the market establish the bottom. All right. Let the market make the first move. So this is a possible change developing on this bigger picture. We'll see how this plays out. Again, this candle is still open. We have the whole day before it closes. What if at 1 o'clock today, Eastern time, this thing sells off and turns into a bearish pin bar again or whatever? Then that just cancels out this whole higher low situation. And on Monday, I'd be expecting a push lower. All right, so we have to see how it closes. Now, let's take a look at the smaller time frame on the NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ can affect stocks that you're in, right? So let's take a look here. After this, I'll probably take a look at, have I looked at the dollar? I'll look at the dollar, I'll look at euro, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, cool. Well, risk is the main thing, all right? Not profit. All these morons, I'm sorry, but they're morons. All these people on YouTube and on TikTok and all these other places, they're always, look how much money I made. I made $10,000 today, blah, 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 because they know that's good marketing. Okay. I don't do that stuff. As you can see, my numbers stink. I have like no followers. No one wants to hear reality. Okay, but the reality is your chances are you're going to lose, and the focus is on risk, not reward. Reward comes from good risk management. Okay, I'm one of the few people that say that, but that's the reality. See, people that recognize the honesty, then they stay with me. I have Bill, I have a bunch of other people that have been following me for some. Sean's been following me a long time. They follow me for years because they see the reality. But most people, they prefer dreams. In fact, they would rather, from my experience and from my marketing experience, which is lousy, and the numbers that I see, this is one of the conclusions I've come to before I talk about this chart. People are willing to spend $1,000 on a dream rather than $300 on something that's actually going to help them protect themselves. Okay, think about that. They would rather spend $1,000 on a dream than something that's going to help them, something cheaper that's actually going to help them, make them more effective, meaning protect their capital. That's irrational. That's human nature. I can't change that. People that are good at marketing recognize that, so they sell you the dream. I bring you reality. No one wants to talk. No one wants reality. Okay, reality stinks. But if you can grasp it, you can protect yourself. And if you can protect yourself, that's the beginning point of how to start growing your account. You have to be able to protect yourself. Anyone could make profits randomly. Anyone. All right. All you have to do is press a button and you can randomly profit just like you can at a casino. All right. Enough of that rant. Let's talk about the NASDAQ here on the, what is this? The 30-minute chart. So what a move, right? Interesting move. Nice squeeze off this bottom, right? Okay, so look at these lows. Let's talk about levels. We know that the bigger picture is generally bearish. We looked at the bigger picture, right? You should always look at the bigger picture first. When you get to the smaller picture, you definitely want to highlight levels, all right? These are your levels. Notice the NASDAQ is rejecting one. I was not drawing the level from this pin bar. I was drawing the level from information over here. Okay, so it's rejecting at the moment. That's at the moment. This candle just opened, right? This candle's a 30-minute candle, so we have another 20 minutes before it closes. Now, keep in mind, you're near a resistance. This zone right here is a resistance zone. So if you day trade stocks, be prepared for a turnaround here, possibly, right? A bearish turnaround, but you can't jump to that conclusion just yet. You have an area where that type of activity is possible, but you have to let the market prove it. So right now, what do? On smaller time frames than this, you're still looking for continuation longs, okay? Inside bars, pin bars, and you want to see the NASDAQ work its way into this area. If the NASDAQ on this time frame gives you a sell signal, then bearish momentum is more likely to follow. Okay, so that's where you need to be more aware of your short signals. Keep in mind, as a day trader, you're looking for small bites. You don't sit there and say, oh, okay, I got a sell signal, so I'm going to put my profit target all the way over here because it's a sell signal and it's bearish. Okay, no, you're only looking for a tiny little pullback, right? A tiny movement, because you want to make the least amount of money for the least amount of risk. Okay, people don't want to hear least amount of money. No, I want to make the most amount of money. No, least amount of money for the least amount of risk. All right, that's how you play this game. So it's hard for people to understand that, but think about that. Anyway, so if you get the sell signal here, you're basically looking for a retest of this area and you're trying to extract something out of here. If the market pulls back into this area, that's an area where you can get buy signals again. Okay, again, we're talking day trades at that point. You're looking for small movements. The NASDAQ serves as a good gauge for your stocks, especially if you day trade tech stocks, like Apple and all those other ones. All right, guys, I got to wrap this up here in just a minute. Do I have any questions? Oh, I want to talk about the dollar and the euro real quick. Let's just take a quick look. All right, here's dollar index. Ooh, look at that. That's on a 30-minute chart. So let's take a look at what that looks like on the bigger picture. Look at this, okay? Dollar, wow, bearish pin bar on the dollar in an area where a bearish pin bar is likely to develop. All right, Am I going to jump to any conclusions on this? No, it's a resistance, all right? But I also know that it's a range resistance, and there's higher lows everywhere. So am I going to get shaken out? Oh man, bearish pin bar on the dollar. The dollar is bearish now. No, this can easily be noise, and this thing can easily close back on its high. Possible, okay? Don't know if it will. So we'll have to see how that goes. This can affect my pound trade, of course, because I was betting on the dollar breakout. So far, we have a fake out. That's the way the game goes. We have to see. But I'm still bullish on the dollar, even with the bearish pin bar. Signals develop. We could get the conflicting signal. I'll be prepared to get out earlier. But if the dollar is trying, and we do have this higher low, that's still in play. Okay, so that's the dollar. I'm not bullish on it. The market's bullish. All right, and higher lows everywhere. So I don't want you to think it's some kind of opinion that I have. All right, let's take a look quick here at the Euro EUR USD. Okay, so look, we're going to see that this is basically inverse dollar, right? Bullish pin bar. So it faked out all the shorts, like, I'm short the pound, and it basically faked out all the shorts. Okay, understandable, no problem. But the trend hasn't changed. So that's part of the game you play when you take such a trade, especially going into a Friday. We have resistance there, we have resistance here. As long as the euro can maintain those resistances, I mean, the short side is still favored in terms of structure. So that's the way I'm going to go with it, right? So if I get shaken out, my point is this. If I get shaken out, I will be prepared to get short again. I'm not going to reverse and go long. All right. If you're thinking on the day trade time frame, okay, that's another story. But the bigger picture, to reverse and go long would be a mistake. All right, because the structure has not changed. And now you would be going long in high risk areas. If you're going to go long, at least wait for supports, if anything, if you're going to take that counter trend trade. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up now. Let me see. I have a question here. Do I have any questions? Kai, most retail comes in, gets milked for everything, leaves again, then comes back in a few years. Right. Well, Kai, you know what? I think, or I believe that, it's one of the reasons why the market never learns. Think about this for a minute, right? People that are very optimistic. Oh, I'm going to come to this. I'm going to learn how to trade in 3 months. And by the time I learn, I'm going to make thousands of dollars a day because everyone else is also, right? That's the message that they feed you, like on TikTok. Keep this in mind. People come, right? They get wiped out. They leave and they're replaced by new mindless and naive people, okay? So that's why the market continues to make the same mistakes. All the information that's out there on YouTube that you can learn about levels, you can learn about candles, you can learn about anything if you Google it, right? Whether it's a video, a blog, whatever it is, with all that information out there, yet most people still don't make any money. Why? Because this is an emotional game. And people are still, no matter what you learn, I'm smart, I can figure that out. It's not a function of intelligence. It's a function of emotional intelligence. If you can't control your emotional situation, or if you're completely unaware, if you take things for granted on a chart, if you're mindless and you are not able to really evaluate something and you just follow whatever, mindlessly consume stuff, you will have nothing but problems. You will eventually get wiped out, you will quit, and you will be replaced by someone else starting out just like you, believing some kind of TikTok video. That is how ridiculous things are today. And there's no accountability. So anyone can come out. I tell people, you want to make a lot of money in this business really fast? Become a fake guru. Right, and fool people into thinking you know what's going on, and you'll make a lot of money really fast. And then you can put affiliate links, and you can put this, and you can put that, and you can make money on YouTube revenue. And hey, you're making money, right? That's one fast way. Another really fast way to make money in this game: run for office, right? And you can make money that way because they all have the inside information, and they can beat the market. All right, enough politics here. Anyway. Okay, so that's really, really important to understand. Now, let me point this out too. I have to say this because I know I'm talking too long, and I have a tendency to do that. But I have to say this because it's something I think about a lot, and I want people. It's just to give you perspective. And while I'm saying this here, let's just put Bitcoin back up here. All right, BTC, USD. Okay, while we're watching the bullish pin bar in Bitcoin, so people have something interesting to watch. So let me say this. Think about this for a moment, okay? Especially if you're new at this game. Think about this. So you have to address the learning curve idea. People like to believe that, you know, with the right information or the special magical strategy, that you're going to learn this in 3 months or a couple of, maybe less than a year, and you're going to be good at it. People think, the misconception is like a light bulb is going to go off, right? Oh, I get it. And then the moment that you get it, you're going to make thousands of dollars with your $1,000 account because you can pull money out of the market like it's an ATM, right? That's the misconception. There is no light bulb, and it doesn't go off at some period. It takes years to recognize the moving parts of the market. It takes years to recognize what's relevant and what's not. And as the market information changes, you know, years ago, no one cared about CPI. Today, CPI is a big deal. Okay, so recognizing how bits of information change, the value of information changes. Okay, on top of that, let me make this one point, and then I'm going to wrap this thing up. Okay, listen to this. Now, so imagine a guy. So you're new. You think you're going to make money in 3 months because you're going to follow some magical strategy, blah blah blah, and you're going to be rich, right? Okay. A guy goes to MIT. All right, one of the best schools in the world, all right, as far as engineering goes. MIT, gets a financial engineering degree from MIT, okay? He's a pretty smart guy to get that, and we're talking a graduate degree. We're not talking about, you know, like a PhD. We're not talking about, you know, a bachelor's degree. So now, a lot of schooling, a lot of knowledge. It's very expensive to go to that school and to get that kind of education, right? So goes through all that. If someone with that kind of knowledge and has the ability to program stuff and this and that, why wouldn't they just borrow some money from friends and family, maybe put a couple of $1,000s together, right? Write a program, an algo, a robot that's just going to pull money out of the market, and they can just hang out and just drink beers all day, or go to the beach, or whatever they want to do while they make their money, right, with their robot, with their knowledge that they paid for from MIT. Instead, what do these people do? They get hired by the best market making firms to work at a market making firm. Okay, why would they take that job? Sure, the job pays a lot of money, a couple of $100,000 a year. But do you think the job is going to be easy? Do you think they're not going to pressure you and milk you and use you for that money that they're going to pay you? It's not easy, okay? And it's going to consume all of your time. You're not going to be hanging out on no beach. You're going to be in front of a computer all day, and you're going to have someone pressuring you. You need to do this. You need to do that. We need this. We need that now, right? Why would someone from MIT go seek employment from a real market making firm, not these nonsense prop firms that are popping? Whoa, we're a prop desk and we're going to, that's another video, okay, by the way. But the point is, why would an MIT graduate with a financial engineering degree go work at a market making firm when they have enough knowledge to pull money from the market themselves? You know why? Because they know that it's not realistic, right? Even with that kind of knowledge. So what makes you think, if you're new, what makes you think that you're going to start out, right, and you're going to open up some account somewhere with $1,000 in it or $5,000, and you're going to play with some random nonsense oscillator, and some light bulb is going to go off, and you're going to make thousands and thousands of dollars when it does? When you're competing with people like that who work for market making firms, who are playing another game, right? A game that's not even close to the game that we play, and they're fleecing you all day long. Okay, people say, I mean, and what do I mean fleece? I'm not getting fleeced. I have a Robinhood account. I'm not getting fleeced. I don't even pay commissions. Check out this thing called payment for order flow. Okay, Robinhood sends your orders straight to a market maker, so you're paying higher prices every time. When you place a market order, you're paying a higher price than you can get at the exchange. They're fleecing you, all right? And you don't even know it. Same with Forex. It's the same deal everywhere you go. So if you're not even aware of that, and you don't even know what that is, that's where the MIT guy goes to work, okay? And you don't see these MIT guys on YouTube. I mean, I've seen like maybe one guy that talks about, you know, how to code strategies and this and that, but you don't see these guys. For one, they probably have to sign an agreement. They can't talk about exactly what they do, right? Because it's proprietary. But the point is, where are those guys? Okay, they're making their $300,000 a year, whatever, working for real market making firms. Okay, so I just wanted to give you some perspective. I know I went a little overboard on that, but that's a very important thing that you need to understand. And it puts into perspective where you fit in this game. The sooner you can accept that, the better you will be. Because you'll say, oh, I'm just a little retail trader. I'm the profit opportunity. I better protect my capital. I better understand how to manage risk and focus on risk, not magical oscillators, magical strategies. I'm going to show you how to make $1,000 a day. Anyone that implies that, it's basically it's your privilege or whatever to pull money out of the market. It's your right to pull money out of the market because investors make money. That's complete nonsense. What they should be talking about is the risk. How much risk? They should be pushing statistics that show that most retail traders don't make money. That is what they should do. Okay, these fake prop desks, like that they fund traders, they probably have some very interesting statistics on how their customer, their customer relationship goes, right? When their customer starts, how long they're a customer for, when they wipe out. They probably have some very interesting statistics, which they will not share, because if they do, it will not be very encouraging to new customers. Oh man, everyone loses their money there. Why would I pay them $600 to borrow $100,000? I'm not going to do that. Right. Okay. So please keep that in mind. If anyone sugarcoats or gives you some optimistic message, please consider it a cartoon, especially if you're watching it on TikTok or on YouTube. Please. There's no such thing as an opportunity advertised. A true opportunity is something that you need to be able to recognize on your own, and it's usually not obvious to most people. Okay, usually at market tops, everyone's, the market's safe, I'm going to buy. Usually at market bottoms, the market's not safe at all, I'm not going to buy. And you should be thinking the opposite. Anyway, this is a game of behavior. I'm going to stop there. Otherwise, I will be talking all day. And I don't think you guys want to hear me yelling at you all day. All right. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you guys. Again, do I have anyone watching me? Oh, I have a couple of people watching me now. Okay, cool. Okay, so guys, again, I'm on every day. As you know, this is like my new day job, right? I'm on here every day. The goal of these is to give you some perspective, but also, like I said, I want to start bringing in some more trade idea oriented material. So like say, oh, look, we have a setup possibly developing here, and then you're on your own with it, okay? So you have some ideas of what to expect, and I can point your attention to areas that can develop into an opportunity. All right. Anyway, so thank you all for spending this time with me. I hope you got something out of it. All right. So everyone, make sure you join my community. It's still free. Got all the links that I have in the descriptive portion of this video. And I'd rather have you yell at me than my. Well, wives tend to cost money, right? I'm just joking around, but I'm trying to help you protect money. Anyway, so that's that. Enjoy the rest of your day, or the rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for watching.